everyone, welcome to my May TBR. I am so happy that it is May. In my family, it means that my husband gets off of work for school at the end of May, and we have summer break to look forward to, and we're gonna go on vacation, and I'm just so happy that after this long school year, it is already done. So I am super excited for my book picks for this month. It's not a very big TBR at all, but they're all books that I am very excited to read. So before we get into my book picks here, I wanted to pick a book from my TBR Pop. So I have all of my unread books in here. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but these books are not including the ones that are 500 pages or more. So all of my big books are the tomes. They're not included in this pot because I know if I pick it, I'm not going to read it. So I'll probably have to do another jar or a little pot or a little cup for all those other books. I don't know, maybe I need to participate in Tome Topple more, but big books intimidate me sometimes. Although I do have a couple of big books on my list, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I'm gonna pick one from here. I'm kind of nervous because I kind of read a lot in April, and so I have a small TBR because I was gonna relax into it, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not intimidating. Okay, so I have my paper here. King's Cage. Oh, ooh. Okay, so this is the book that I got from that little pot. I'm sure everyone has heard of the series. Yeah, the series is called The Red Queen. This is the third book. I'm not even sure how many books there are in the series. I read the first book and I loved it. I thought it was such a good concept. I read it so quickly too. It was just one of those books that I just loved. And then the second book I read a couple years ago, and it was horrible. Not that the story was bad, the plot was actually really good, but I felt that the main character, what is even her name? I forgot her name. Mare Barrow, okay. I thought that Mare was so whiny. I thought she was complaining about every single thing, and I was tired of it by like halfway through the book. I was so tired of it. So I picked up the third book because I liked the plot and the series so much, and so I wanted to continue the series, but I didn't like her attitude. So I'm hoping she has a change of heart. I'm hoping that she's grown, because I could not stand her character in the second book. So let's see, this book is pretty long. This one is 507 pages, I think. Let's see. Yes. Okay, this book is 507 pages. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna try, because when I was picking my TBR, I had historical fiction and I had some contemporary, and then I thought, I kind of wanted some fantasy, because doing the owls kind of got me back into fantasy again. And so I picked one fantasy, but now I have another fantasy. So, man, I hope it's good, because I did like the plot. I'm gonna have to do a refresher. I'll probably have to look online for like a plot summary of the first two books, because it's been a while. It's been a couple years. So I hope it's good. Ooh. Okay, so this is the first book that I'm gonna read this month. Okay, the next book that's on my TBR, I've already started. I'm about 30 pages in, and this is The Locksmith's Daughter by Karen Brooks. This is a historical fiction, and it takes place in the 16th century, and I love historical fiction. That's one of my favorite genres to read. Historical fiction and mystery thriller are like, and if it's a historical fiction / mystery thriller, that's like my favorite genre. Okay, so like I have a whole shelf. I don't know oh no, you can't see it, it's on that side. I have a whole shelf dedicated to historical fiction, and I think I only have like, let me see, I only have like 4 books left that I have not read on that shelf, and I need to get more. So anyway, I got this on a whim. I've never heard of it. I want to say it came out this year. Let's see. Oh no, okay. This book came out last year. I had never heard of it, but I read the back. I saw the title and I thought, locksmith. I've never read a book from a locksmith's perspective before. And then I read the back and I thought like, oh my gosh, that escalated so quickly. Just the back cover escalated so quickly. And I told my husband, I said, oh my gosh, let me read this to you. And so, okay, basically this is a story of a locksmith's daughter. Her father is very famous for being a locksmith. And, okay, my stories ran out, so I'm gonna have to do this quickly. So she's the daughter of a locksmith, and she's kind of like his protege type of thing. And then she gets into this big scandal, and so she's shunned by the community. Even her father kind of like shuns her from the locksmith business. And so she gets involved with, I guess through her father, she gets involved with England's most notorious spies for the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. And so he kind of pulls her into his line of work to be a spy. And then as she's spying for him, she witnesses the murder of these two priests that, you know, I guess the government or whatever it is that she's working for, murders them or like executes them in public, and she realizes it's because she spied on them, like it's her own doing. And so she's kind of having to weigh, you know, between her beliefs, her moral beliefs, and her loyalty for her queen. So I'm already 30 pages in, and I love it. I've only had a little bit of time to read it this morning. I wanted to like get a big chunk done, but it's been so busy today, so I only got a little bit done. But I love it. I'm so excited. It is really long. It's 537 pages, which is kind of big, and the words are not that big either. It's pretty small print, and the pages are really thin. It's just like, it's a really big book, but it's so good. I'm so excited to see what else this character has in store. So yes, this one is on my TBR. Then I wanted kind of just like a lighthearted read that reminded me of summer. So I picked The Matchmaker by Ellen Hilderbrand. I've never read a book by this author, but I've heard that she writes really lighthearted reads. This one is about a 48-year-old woman who is always matchmaking, and then one day she kind of runs into her past lover, but she's already married. So she's having to weigh those two options. That's all I really know about it. I know that most of Ellen Hilderbrand's books take place in Nantucket, which I don't even know where Nantucket is. Is that like an island or like a beach town? But yeah, it just reminded me of summer, so I thought it'd get me excited for summer. The next book on my TBR is Caribou by Stephanie Garber. I have been wanting to read this book ever since I read The Night Circus. If you've never read The Night Circus, I highly recommend it. It is such a fantastical read. It has mystery, it has romance, it has magic. It's just so beautiful. It reads like a storybook. I read it for one of the booktubeathons like years ago. I read it in 2 nights. It was just such a good book. So after I read that, I was craving something like it. And I don't know why this book reminds me of The Night Circus. And look at the cover, it's just so beautiful. This is about a magical circus. Is it about a magical circus? Oh no, that's Night Circus. Never mind. This one is about, I think it's about a competition. Is it a carnival? I want to say something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's something about a competition, and so like the guy who's in charge of the competition kidnaps someone's sister, and so she's having to go find her, and everyone's looking for her, or something to that effect. You know, I really don't know what this book is about per se. I do know that the last book, the last book is coming out this month or next month, and yeah, I'm just really excited to read it because I'm craving Night Circus vibes, and this one reminds me of it. So yes, this is the next book on my TBR. And the last book I have is an audiobook. I've already started it. I'm already like 3 hours into it, and I'm reading Anna and the French Kiss. I wanted just another contemporary, lighthearted book. So yeah, it's alright. It's kind of like, I feel like I'm too grown up for it. I can't relate to it, I guess. You know, the writing style is really, it's obvious that it's targeted for middle schoolers or like young teens. I really wouldn't even say teens. I would say like young teens, middle school age. But I mean, it's cute. It's just really kind of like unrealistic, but it's cute. It's a good summer read. So these are all the books I have for my May TBR. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and we'll see you next time.